What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. So we're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Scary Movie 6, Saw, The Descent 3, and The Conjuring. So starting off here with Scary Movie 6, Marlon Wayans was on the Keke Palmer show about a month ago at this point, and basically confirmed that we should expect Shorty to be present in Scary Movie 6. Now, we haven't gotten any official press releases confirming any of the OG stars being back outside of Anna Faris and Regina Hall so far. But how I came to this conclusion, based off of this interview, was the fact that Marlon makes a point to say that he had to lose muscle after getting more in shape for his role in Him, because he can't play Shorty a certain way, and he has Scary Movie 6 coming up. So then obviously, of course, words like that without you explicitly saying I'm going to be in Scary Movie 6 is enough for me to assume that you plan to bring Shorty back. But then he teased the return even more by doing the Shorty voice and mannerisms. Now, this is a huge deal for anyone who grew up with those first two movies. Shorty has been absent since 2001, and he seems to be making his much long overdue comeback next June when the film drops in theaters. I also wanted to share that you guys should expect the Ratchett character I brought up in my solo video dedicated to Scary Movie 6 a couple weeks back. You should expect that Ratchett character to 100% be a nurse. She's going to be comic relief, and seems like it is going to be portrayed by a black woman. I think what they're doing is spoofing Nurse Ratchett, played by Sarah Paulson, in that limited series that was on Netflix a while back. If you haven't checked that out, please check it out. But yeah, she's definitely going to be a fan favorite. Some of the lines that I know she has should definitely be crowd pleasers and just memorable moments in the theater with a big audience. But that's Ratchett with two T's. Her words, not mine. And do not mess with anything in the break room that has her name on it. Watch out for those two T's. But we should start getting casting news during September, since filming starts the following month in October. Marlon has shared that with us, and it was also shared in the official press releases that announced Anna Faris and Regina Hall to be back. I know some people probably do not like the fact that those ladies are not going to be leading, but what do you expect when the main spoof is Scream 5? Scream 5 didn't have Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox as leads, so if they're following suit, of course they're going down the Sam and Tara route, who are our leads, Sarah and Tuesday. Now let's jump into talking about Saw. Viewer Anon put out an interesting tweet yesterday saying, "You want a Saw scoop? It's a few early days, but I've heard they're aiming for Tobin Bell to continue playing Jigsaw in the Blumhouse Atomic Monster Saw follow-up. It is not intended to be a remake or full reset." Now, I want to just pause everything there before I get too excited about the possibility of us getting a full-fledged Saw 11 that follows up from Saw X. Whatever comes next is going to be Saw 11. So, I do not think that this means that I should start getting excited, overly excited, for the fact that we're getting a follow-up to Saw X. John Kramer, Tobin Bell being back can be done in a capacity that does not have the focus centered around John Kramer and Tobin Bell. Because if it's in the fairly early days that they're still considering this, that must mean that, to me, since he's highlighted he wants a fresh start, that fresh start still would include influence from a John Kramer, which would require Tobin Bell to hopefully still be able to appear. But it's not going to be John Kramer as our primary antagonist. I will still hold on to that until proven otherwise. I don't want to get my hopes up related to getting that follow-up to Saw X. I want to be prepared for a film that is not solely dedicated to John Kramer the way Saw X was. That was a nice change of pace. Definitely a nice change of pace to have John Kramer in the driver's seat like that for the whole entire narrative. I think that what we're going to get is a concoction of something that reboots the franchise in a way that doesn't disregard everything, but keeps Tobin Bell, John Kramer's legacy alive and well, while someone else is influenced by John Kramer and takes over the mantle. That's all I see happening with Saw 11, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just don't want to again set myself up for disappointment when it's not the Saw 11 many of us want it to be. Now let's talk about The Descent 3. Neil Marshall addressed a potential The Descent 3 during a recent interview with Metro UK. He said, "I can definitely see it happening. It's something that I think would be good to wrap up the story. So many other franchises have been exploited over the years, but nothing has really happened with The Descent. I've got a few ideas. The trend seems to be prequels. I was always interested in what happened to the miners who went down with the cave first. A prequel wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind a prequel that explores what happened to those first miners that went into that cave." We kind of see a story teased about that on the wall, I think, a bit, when Juno is discovering all these drawings and some of the other things that are drawn out on the wall, indicating that somebody else had already been there. So if we get a film that's a prequel detailing those people's experience, I'm all fine with that as long as the crawlers look how they did in 2005 and 2009 in that atrocious sequel. But I think what many would prefer, me included, if you're a diehard fan of those two films, or the first one, we would prefer a follow-up that washes away the taste in our mouth from that nasty second film. I think that's what many people would prefer. You don't even have to say that the second film didn't happen, but just don't acknowledge it too much. You can say it many years after the first movie. Sarah, of course, is dead. Juno's dead. So in that regard, that would still leave room for us to assume that the second film still happened. And you can just tell a narrative in which new group of people who maybe have grown up around a legend surrounding what happened to those women in that cave, and now they go to investigate the cave to see if there's any truth to the crawlers and what's going on down there and what happened to these women, and they'll find out those legends are true. I could see something like that happening, where in the third film, if it's a sequel, what happened to Juno and her friends became like a legend in the area or the nearby town, and now you have a group of young adults who are into social media, all that stuff, they make it very modern, and they're going to go into the cave, and they're going to find out that the legend is true. The crawlers will be back, and hopefully it'll be as claustrophobic and as suspenseful as the first film, and it can wash away the bad taste left in our mouth from that nasty second film. Now, let's talk about the Conjuring Universe to end this video. So James Wan had an interview with Collider, and Perry was the one doing the interview. She brought up the concept of a phase 2 for the Conjuring Universe, since we know we just recently found out we've been in some long phase 1 for over a decade, apparently. Juan made it clear he tries to not think about that too much. He reminded us that the Ed and Lorraine mainline films are the mothership, and that's exactly what's ending with The Conjuring Last Rites, the mothership of the franchise. But the spin-offs can always keep happening. Then Perry also brought up the possibility of a Crooked Man movie in phase 2. Now, I just revisited The Conjuring 2. The Crooked Man, I do see potential, but I also wouldn't be upset if that film still just never came to fruition. That movie was in development for over 8 years now, at least. I might be a little bit overestimating that, but it's been in development for a while. I think at one point it was announced to being canceled. So if they want to explore the Crooked Man, sure, but his presence in The Conjuring 2 didn't make me go, oh my gosh, I need a Crooked Man movie. If you want to see a Crooked Man movie, please explain to me why. I kind of get the appeal. I just don't see the hype around the Crooked Man. James even makes a point to mention that he still gets all these messages and notice recognition around the Crooked Man. I don't get the hype. But you guys let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications. Your name is video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know if there's any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.